frequently, and every weekday for Haps News, I live draw something that's in the news or that we're talking about, or where I am. I'll do a live drawing out in the field. Like yesterday, I was in the theater district in New York, and I drew something there. So it's not always political, but sometimes, more often than not, it usually is. So good to see you. Thank you for joining me here. Who's here? Daniel, hello. Um, Westminster, Maryland. Thank you. Thank you for liking my broadcast. You have a good weekend too. Are you leaving? I just started. Uh, anyway, thank you guys. Thank you to friends who have and supporters who have become sponsors. If you want to sponsor me, that would be great. Go to my profile and see what the options are. Patricia became a sponsor yesterday. I don't know if she's here today, but she became one of my sponsors. So that's really great, really helpful, and I appreciate any support I can get for my live drawing. And HAPS is a great platform. So hi, Sonia. Good to see everybody. And I'm going to turn this around now and draw for you something political today. So I want to preface this drawing with a hat tip. Make sure this is in view. Is it in view? Hat tip to a cartoonist that was very influential to me in the 70s. Gary Trudeau. I don't know if you guys know him or know his work. He's the creator of Doonesbury and did some incredible political cartoons during Watergate. And I was a young girl and growing up in Washington, and I was very influenced by his cartoons. He did a strip. If you don't know his work, his was a strip, but it was political, and that was a new thing back then. Although there was one called Pogo many years ago, before my time, that was also political. But Gary Trudeau really did it well, and he not only dealt with political news, like he did a lot of drawings about Nixon and Watergate, as I said. He also did culture. So he would draw cartoons. He had a regular cast of characters, and he would point out things that Americans were doing wrong. He also did a lot of cartoons about Vietnam War. Go check him out, Gary Trudeau and Doonesbury, if you don't know him. But the reason why I mention him is that he used to do, and he may still, for all I know, I haven't looked at his work in recent weeks, but he used to do a White House like this, and he would have speech balloons coming out of the White House. I'm trying to hide this because I don't want you to read the captions before I do them. So it's almost like, Nixon would be saying something in the White House, and it would just be coming out with speech balloons. Genius. Some great dialogue that he would put into Nixon's mouth. He did draw Nixon, but more often than not, if you heard from Trudeau about Nixon, it was through this White House speaking, him speaking out of the White House. And I want to give a hat tip to that device that he used with the White House. I've done it before. I've done cartoons like this before with Trump. Flag. See if anybody's here. Hi, Peter. Hi, Pablo. Good to see you all. So, as you know, Trump. See, now I'm going to put my hand over that now. Trump is not conceding the election. He's trying to do everything he can. And it's, speaking of voices coming out of the White House, we're all wondering what it's like in there right now. You have to admit it. You're trying to picture what's happening. So he's invited. I think they were there today, and I haven't heard any report about what happened. He invited Republican officials to come to the White House, and we don't really know what he's up to, what he thinks he can do with bringing people to the White House. Try to convince them to do what? To not certify the votes for Michigan? I mean, he can't do that. But I read an article today that said Trump, when he was a real estate mogul in New York, he was known for persuading people with his, I don't know, charms. I don't know. Sorry, I have to concentrate on if I'm writing words. I more often than not misspell if I'm talking and writing words at the same time. Anyway, so he had those two officials from Michigan. You know what he did in Detroit? He tried to persuade some officials to change their certification. I mean, what he might be trying to do is get people to change the certification or deny the certification, and then kick electors out and put his own people in there. But he can't do that. Can you read this? So when he was a real estate mogul in New York, he would try to convince people to change their whatever, and it was called putting on the ether, putting people on ether or something, trying to change their minds. It's just it's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this. I don't even know that Trump would know what an Hermes scarf is. I didn't know what it was until recently. I don't always know what I'm going to be drawing. This is tricky, trying to get the bubbles connected. I'm not a comic strip artist, so I'm not real adept at, let's see. Running out of, do this. Oops. If you can see what I'm doing. That's my idea. I'll put a little color on the White House. Obama made a joke, apparently. He was on Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't heard it, but I saw it. He was joking that the Navy SEALs could remove Trump from the White House if necessary. It's hard to know what's going to happen. How is Trump going to make his exit? How is he going to make it change? And one of the other Republicans going to come to their senses. Oops, that's too dark. Exciting news about the vaccines. I saw on the news, I saw CVS is going to be helping distribute the vaccine. It's quite an undertaking. If you just joined us, it's Liza Donnelly. I'm a cartoonist for The New Yorker and other publications, sometimes political, sometimes not. And I'm drawing about Trump's subversive moves or his attempt at subverting the election. It's not a small enough brush. Sometimes I work digitally. If you watched yesterday, I was drawing digitally on my iPad. I was in Times Square and the theater district. I did some drawings out in the field, which I do from time to time. There we go. Okay. I have it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Brett says, how about a vacation to Russia? Yeah. Hi, Travis. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Antonella. Daniel says he wants the base to donate, but he hates the base and thinks they're losers. Pablo says he's killing the Republican Party and they don't seem to care. I agree. It's like they're not. Three senators came out so far. Who was it most recently? Somebody just today. His name escapes me. Came out, a senior member of the Senate or House Senate, I think, said that it's time to move on and cooperate on the transition. But all these Republicans are backing him, and they're just going to look really bad eventually. Pablo says his latest game is claiming that they need to see every signature on ballots from Georgia. What? His henchmen remain loyal, says Daniel. Thank you, Joanne. Joanne just subscribed. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so you guys, hi, Patricia is here. She says, I remember those Trudeau cartoons very well, quite well. Loved them. Yes, he was great. He was really influential for me. I didn't go into the comics world, but his sensibility, his attitude, his view of our politics and how politics and our behaviors as human beings, as Americans, sort of intertwined, our racism and our xenophobia and stuff like that. He talked about that in relation to the Vietnam War. So it was fascinating to see what he did back then. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia at Just Jotter, she became a subscriber and a sponsor. So thank you for that, Patricia. I really appreciate it. All right, well, that's it for today. Let's see. Chaos and no Kellyanne. Daniel. I once got to go to the White House, and not as a guest, but as a reporter, and I was in the briefing room. Supposed to see Sean Spicer. It was back then, 2017, and they didn't have a briefing, but they had a press conference. So I got to go into the White House and see Trump do a press conference with the Italian prime minister. But that was fascinating. And while I was waiting for that to happen, I was sitting outside. It was a nice day, and Kellyanne Conway walked by. So I drew her. I drew her quickly from as she was walking away from me. Um, a sojourn to Dubai, says Daniel. That's funny. Not a lot of Russia talk right now. All right, that's it for me for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next week every day, 5:30. I live draw something in the news, and I may do some outside drawing. I'll go draw live like I did yesterday, and or maybe I'll just do political cartoons. We'll see. And I also thought I might do a caption contest, do a cartoon like a New Yorker cartoon drawing, and ask you all to submit your captions. So have a great weekend. Take care. Thanks for joining me, and wear your masks. Bye, guys.